Hi, this is Josh here at Tech Spec, and this is a video on getting oriented in Gmail for education domains, and it's especially for folks who are coming over from Microsoft Outlook. So let's get started, shall we? To get to your new Gmail account, you should be able to type mail.google.com, as I have right here, and then you're going to log in with your domain credentials. So that's whatever it is at myschool.org, or in my case, at aliceall.org, or whatever your domain is. And then what you may see, especially if you've come over from Outlook recently, is you'll see a bunch of your old folders over here on the left. They may or may not be color-coded. In fact, they probably won't be. You'll see your compose window. This is where you start. You'll see the Gmail logo up here in the upper left, and in the upper right, you'll see your district domain logo. So, and if you hover over it, it should say your first and Google account, first and last, etc. So as we look here, we will see that we do have a few things. If you're new to Google domain, you're going to always check for whenever you have 3 bars like this. Notice what's happening is it's shrinking my, narrowing my folder list, or label list as they're called in Gmail. So to give me some more screen real estate, you'll have 3 dots here. You'll also have a gear. So you're looking for 3 dots, gears, and triangles will be what always help you. So you'll notice by default you have inbox, starred, important, sent, drafts, spam, and trash. If any of these are missing, then you can go into the settings, which is here under the gear, and get those to show. Again, remember, these aren't called folders, these are called labels. New in Gmail as of 2018 is this sidebar, and it has 3 apps on it by default. Your first one is your Google Calendar. And as you can see, this is my Google Calendar here in orange, and one that's been shared with me is here in green. I can click through day by day. I can switch the view to schedule, which can show me a few days forward and back. And it'll give me the times instead of gridding out the whole day the way the day view does. There are a couple of other, I can jump to someday or click back to today. And there are also some other options where you can select calendars, anything that's either yours or that's been shared with you. If you are a Google Keep user, Google Keep is their sort of collaborative online note-taking feature. It works really well. You can make checklists here. You can just take regular notes. You can take notes that involve pictures. And, down here you can see the my to-do before December list, kind of hiding it. Then there's tasks, which also integrates with Google Calendar the way Google Keep does. And it's a good way to just sort of organize your day and to keep, and you can actually create tasks from emails. And we'll go into that perhaps in another video. So in the middle here, you have your main message list. I'm in my inbox. I know that because inbox is highlighted red, and it's got that 409 that tells me how many unread emails I have. Anything in the label list that is bold means I have unread emails in it. But you'll notice, for example, if I jump to the Alludo label, it's just these 12 unread emails, but it's not read anymore. But this is how I know which folder I'm looking at or what I'm in at any given time. So let's take a look here at these messages. So there's a couple of things to note. You'll have these stars, which is one way of organizing. This is currently not starred. And you have this sort of sideways arrowhead thing. That's the important marker. So you see I have some, and some of these get marked important automatically. And what Google will do is anything that comes from a single person directly to you, it tends to mark as important. After you use Gmail for a while, it'll start paying attention to who you email the most and who emails you the most, and it will start automatically marking them as important. But you'll notice here it says important according to Google Magic, and then it says click to teach. This conversation is not important. So as you mark things important and not important, it will learn that, and this can be, why would you do that? Because if you really use it as a thing of just my important stuff, you can see I can click over here to important and just look at those things. The same with starred. Now, If I wanted to star something, I could just click on it, and now it will appear in starred if I want to look just at my starred email. But you'll notice when I'm in starred here, I have this one with a green checkbox. So let's go back here and let's pick another one. Let's say this Twitter one. If I keep clicking, notice the star color changes. And then if I keep going, I get certain other symbols, right? So there's a way to narrow this down. I think there's 10 different options here. There's a way to narrow it down in the settings, and we can look at that later. So let's sort of look at, so if I just hover over this email, I know that this is an unread email because it's all in bold. This is a red email and it's got a gray background and it's just in regular typeface. So this is in bold. If I hover over, it'll tell me who this is from. This is from news@insideapple.com, and I could add to my contacts if I wanted to. Well, here's another one. This says it's one from Josh Harris, that would be me, at this email address. And if I click here, I can add to my contacts. Now I can edit. I've got some other options here. And with most things in Google, if you just hover over the icon, it will tell you what it is. So when we're selecting email, watch what happens. I have no buttons here. And for Outlook users, this can be a little frustrating. Where are all my controls? But if I click on it, notice all the controls appear. And again, if we hover over the icons, we will get to see what they do. And then, like I said, 3 dots, it will give you more tasks or more actions you can take here. So also looking new in 2018, you'll notice these bubbles that show I have an attachment here. And if I scroll down, I have some more here. So I kind of like these. In fact, I really like them. Some people don't, so I'll show you how to change them and then I'll show you the advantage of them. So if we go to the gear, which is settings, this is called the display density. So by default, it has this kind of nice spread out and it has the bubbles for attachments. If we switch to comfortable view, it moves it over to the paperclip at the side and we don't have those bubbles. And then compact, it squeezes them all together. So let's take a look at compact real quick. A lot of Outlook users prefer this. I find this really dense and overwhelming. It's so much text to look at all at once. So I'm going to go back to the default view, but you can use whichever view that you like. One of the reasons I really like those display bubbles is without even opening this, I can just click on the attachment. It happens to be a Google Doc, and it will just show me what it is without having to open up the email. I can just take a quick look at it. Also, since I use this on a regular basis, I know if I'm looking for something, I'll just sort of scan through and look for the bubbles for the attachments. Here's a PDF. It'll open up the PDF for me and show me what's going on here. So I'm going to close out of that. So if you don't like that, you can go here and to display density. Now, let's talk about once you've opened an email and what you can do with it. So when we open it, we see our emails here. This is marked as important. It tells me who it's from. Again, if I hover here, I can see who sent it to me. And if it says edit contact, it means this person is already in your contacts. I've got all my stuff here. And this is another new feature in 2018 is these 3 text blocks. These are automatic replies. Now, and they can help you save a bunch of time. So for example, if I say, click on thank you for the information, it doesn't send for me yet. It still lets me edit this email some more. So I really appreciate you taking the time to let us know. Now I can just click send. So see this little A, those are my text editor tools right there. The paperclip is to attach files from the computer. The triangle is to attach files from Google Drive, insert emojis, insert links, insert photos, etc. And then I can click send. Now, the interesting thing about those automatic replies is if this had been sent to me and several other people at the same time, it would automatically reply all. So you notice at the bottom, I can just click reply. Well, if I didn't want to scroll down, you'll see this arrow here is set to reply. Now this was only sent to one person, so there's no reply all option, but here's where you would forward as well. So let's head back to our inbox. Now, and so let's say my Apple, this Apple email, this is just from a vendor. So I can either delete it or I could archive it. And that's a big difference in Gmail being web-based is, first off, in all education domains, there's unlimited storage in Gmail and Google Drive, so you don't have to get rid of things to make space. Also, when we use Outlook, our emails are kind of stuck on one computer, and since Gmail's web-based, wherever we can log into our educational Google account, we can get into all our mail. So I know a lot of us are used to just coming up here and deleting the email. And that makes sense if you want to get rid of it. But some of us use the trash can as a sort of archive, as an organizational tool. And the difference here being, in Outlook and most other mail clients, you're used to it just sits in the trash until you go and empty your trash. That's not how Gmail works. Gmail deletes automatically every 30 days, or rather, any email that is 30 days old is supposed to be deleted forever. You can go to the trash and delete forever on your own, but since you have unlimited storage space, the other thing you can do is move to the archive. Now, archiving that gets it out of your inbox, but where does it put it? If you look for a folder called archive, you're going to be looking for a while. What it actually does is it moves it to this place called all mail. And what all mail is exactly what it sounds like. Even though these things are in folders, and I can tell because it has the calendar items folder tag, or this is in the inbox, or this is in the G Classroom folder, all the mail, all 1,286 of the emails in this account sit in all mail, and this acts as the archive. But where it isn't anymore, it isn't in my inbox. So it makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Now, when we talk about clearing things out of the inbox, there's another cool new feature if we're just in our message list, that this came in 2018 as well. So without opening this, oh, Josh shared a note with you. Well, I happen to know that's Google Keep. So if I wanted to, I could archive or delete from here. I could mark it as read without actually opening it. So I could do that. Or if I didn't mean to mark it as read, I can mark it as unread as well. And then I can do this thing called snooze, which is really kind of cool. If you're like, oh, I need to not worry about this for a few days, or I'm going to deal with this tomorrow, but I want it to come back into my email tomorrow, then what I can say is I can snooze it. So what happens is either later today, later this week, or at a time of my choosing. For example, if I'm going to deal with this next Monday, I just click next Monday and it goes out of my inbox and it will come back to me in a week. If I'm like, oh, did I snooze something? Do you know where you can go find that? You go to all mail and see this one. It's sort of where the orange is, where it says November 26th, that's this one right here that says hashtags. That's a snoozed email, and it will come back to me on November 26th. But if I need it right now, it's there in all mail. Kind of a cool new feature. So those are our choices here. We can delete, we can all mail, we can, if I wanted to, I could drag this, for example, to one of my folders here. Let's say this is from a teacher, or we can, you can make labels here as well, and we'll go into that. One last thing is, as you're making your shift over to your new education domain Gmail, if you find that you keep running into stumbling blocks, you can look up resources on YouTube, but there's also a cool thing if you're using Google Chrome, and your best experience is going to be in Google Chrome, called a Google Chrome extension for G Suite EDU training. And it will help you in Gmail, and it will help you in Google Drive and Google Calendar, all your Google stuff. So if you come to Google and you search Chrome Web Store, and you open up the Chrome Web Store, and just type in G Suite and start to type the word training and let it autocomplete. This one here we're going to add to Chrome. We click Add to Chrome, Add Extension, and what happens is it adds like this little icon at the end of our Omnibox or our address bar. So now when I come back to Mail, I'm going to refresh my screen. And as Gmail loads, you'll notice now I have up here in the upper right this Gmail training extension function. So if I clicked Find Out Now, I would have to sign in. You only have to do this the first time. I'm going to sign into my Google account, and then when I open it, it sees that I'm in Gmail, and it asks me what I want to learn, and there are really cool tutorials in here. So Anyway, that's something for you to explore later on your own. I'm hoping that this has
Before
been...
you start using
Whoops.
Gmail, it is good to know your way around the application. Your inbox takes up
Need to
most of the
pause this.
window. This is where your new messages arrive, and your most recent will be placed at the top.
Anyway, so my G Suite training got a little ahead of me, and you can see it opens up all these different options for you. So in any case, and when you want to get rid of it, hopefully that has been helpful and useful for you. This has been Getting Oriented in Your EDU domain Gmail, and there will be other videos for you to check out when you're ready.